Tortured is from the front row with Johnathan T. Rokford.
What? No. There was no lube on that thing. I think he spit on it or something. I don't know. Dude, I swear to God, I see one more dildo in WPA. I swear to God, I'm probably going to quit. What is with these guys in dildos? They're so transfixed on using a dildo in a match. It's just crazy. At least do some lube or something, you know, shit. I wonder why he said pineapple. And how we doing, folks? It is I, Johnathan T. Rokford, here with another edition of From the Front Row. And it was a very quick-paced week, folks, as our new Game Changer champion was crowned and then dethroned immediately. It was kind of asinine, the match he made up. But we'll get into that in a little bit, as we had singles matches. In our first match, we had the Messiah taking on Texas Hates You. And I think we finally figured out who Texas hates, folks. But the Messiah came through with some redemption and was able to defeat good old Texas. Knock him down. In our second match, we had the Beast taking on the Intercontinental Champion, Brian the Enforcer Lieber. He looked kind of out of sorts to me, too. It was like he had no answers. No answer for anything the Beast did. I mean, the Beast just obliterated the champ. He worked over his arm to the point where he had him in a beast lock and made him submit. All the while talking trash to him. In our third match, we had Johnny Rocco taking on Needles Kane, one half of the tag team champs. And he won, folks. I mean, I believe this is the first time they faced each other. So, you know, but it was actually a pretty good match, though. It was really close. It could have went either way at a given point. But in the end, Needles Kane picked up the win. Now, the surprise match of the night, we had the Darkstalker taking on Martel the Carpenter. And folks, when I tell you, the crowd got quiet when this one happened. Martel the Carpenter beat the Darkstalker. Yeah. Let that sink in for a minute, folks. I'll give you a minute. You recovered yet? Good. I swear, the only thing you could hear was Johnny Rocco laughing and pointing at the Darkstalker that he just lost to the Carpenter. I don't know how he's going to recover from that one. I mean, you could still hear Sinister, other members of Sinister, back there giving him grief over that loss. Speaking of loss, Big Mel was able to defeat the WPA champion, Jermaine Walker, in a somewhat close match, but I don't know. I think Jermaine's thinking about All Out. You know, he SummerSlam, he came to a time limit draw and couldn't beat Big Mel. Retained his title, though. And then has another match with him and loses to Big Mel. I don't know how else to put that, folks. Now, we did have some number one contender matches. We had two phases for the triple threat number one contender. We had the Brasso versus Alpha versus Bobby Buttercream. And folks, by process of elimination of that scheduled match, Brasso was awarded the win since the other two did not show up. Such is life in WPA. In the second hand match, we had the Wraith versus Shepherd Bane and our Mr. Money in the Bank Supreme Knight. Man, I wonder when he's going to cash that sucker in. But Shepherd Bane was able to come out on top and pick up the win. So, Brasshole, Shepherd Bane have earned their way to a triple threat title match. Now, in our next number one contender match, we had Captain Chaos and Lady Assassin fighting for the decide who was going to be the number one contender for the TV title. And Lady Assassin was able to defeat Captain Chaos. I keep telling y'all, bro, she's legit the queen of coming through. It makes me always seem And that was a tough match too. Captain Chaos is no slouch. Unless he's facing Jermaine, then he gets beat. But against other people, he usually puts out a strong performance. So he gave her everything he got too. But she was able to knock him down. And in another match to decide the number one contender for the tag team titles in order to face the Beast and Needles K, who are our tag team champs, we had Casper 2779 and Money MF and Mike of the Killer Goons facing Nergahante and Delirious Prince of Crime. And folks, it's hard to be a first-time tag team and face a team that's already established, and it showed. As the Killer Goons were able to defeat the put-together team of Nergahante and Delirious. So they will be going on to face Needles Kane and the Beast to decide who is the real champ. Now, we had a four-way match for the Intercontinental number one contender. And we had Robert Isaiah Salea, Bobby Blaze, El Hijo de COVID, and the Essential Jayla Masters. And folks, I always tout Jayla Masters. I mean, I will tell you, he's one tough SOB when it's one-on-one. But when he's in a match with multiple opponents, it gets a little bit harder for him. And he seems to have trouble with that. And this was no exception, as Bobby Blaze was able to pull out the win on the week of his birthday, no less, and become the number one contender to face Brian Lieber for the Intercontinental title. Now, in championship matches, we did have a game changer title match, like I said earlier, and it was Big Mel who had just come off of beating the Thai Villain. And folks, he decided to challenge Jayla Masters. He must not listen to my show when I tell you, like I said, it is hard to beat Jayla Masters one-on-one. And he put a stipulation on the match, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around why. But he decided not only to have an MDK match, but a spiked dildo on a pole match. I'm starting to think that MDK stands for Mighty Dick Kebab or something, you know. Two poles. That's essentially what it is. And I'm not gonna lie, folks. It looked like Jay was about to stick that dildo where the sun didn't shine. But Big Mel said the safety word. Ref took that as a submission and awarded the win to Jayla Masters. So, Jayla Masters going into this weekend is the new Game Changer champion. Now, we'll see who he decides to challenge. Will he pick a worthy opponent? Or will he go West Virginia style? We'll wait and see. Now, in a triple threat championship match. Our champion, the Thai villain, was taking on the lumberjack Tommy Celsius and the Emperor 2K Anomalium. And in the second shock of the night, folks, and I hope you're sitting down for this one, the Emperor 2K Anomalium picked up the win and is now the new WPA Triple Threat Champion. I'll let that one sink in too. It was a real bizarre night. In our final match, we had the match that I was waiting for. It was Pierre Saint Damien versus Money for the TV title. These two are teammates. They're part of the Trios Championship team with Robert Isaiah Saleh. And they put on a show, folks. It was match of the night, as Money became a 2-time TV champion by defeating Pierre Saint Damien, who took the belt off of Robert Isaiah Saleh. It's like they're keeping it in the family. And that was it, folks. That was all the matches. We had 3 titles change hands this week. Couple of surprises. One, an upset. Actually, I would say 2. And a spiked dildo. Seriously, folks, keep your bedroom behavior at home. I mean, you thought that Luscious Lucius had snuck in and made that match. But that's all I have tonight, folks. This weekend, Melvin will be back, and he will be handling recap duties. And Philip will also be there as well. Let you know who he thought the top performer of the week was. He'll actually have 2. He'll have one for the week, and his second one will be for the All Out pay-per-view. So he decided he would wait. Thank God. Also, folks, don't forget, there's still time to offer a suggestion for what to call his segment. He seems to think you guys aren't bright enough to come up with a name or creative enough. Me personally, I kind of have a little faith in you. To the point where we've actually made a bet. So please help me with a little bit of money here. Okay? But as always, don't drink and drive. Make sure you hug your loved ones. Call that friend that might need to hear your voice. I'm Johnathan T. Rokford, folks. This is from the front row.